Okay, thank you. And at this time, we'll take some questions from the media as well as anyone else. This is our, what is it now? We've been doing this is the fourth week now for our weekly press conference that we can share and provide information to if anyone would like to ask questions. Aaron, you coming on up, are you? Good.
Hey there, Aaron Kunkler with the Chronicle. I was wondering, this is about the senior center funding, and I was wondering if after the end of, or at the end of 2017, if there was any possibility of the county continuing to fund in full or partially the senior centers, or if that is off the table at this point.
At this point, it's premature because we have a committee that's working on it. They've just formed subcommittees, and they're working diligently. So it's
All right.
not that time.
And that was probably the last update we received from Glinda. I know that they've got some, they're having some, I don't know when the next meeting is. I apologize for not knowing when the next meeting is, but I know that they're working through some things and they're looking ahead, looking forward.
And I know they're very eager. I was at the Winlock breakfast on Saturday, and some of the subcommittee members were saying they were eager to talk to other counties and see how they're doing it and getting some ideas now.
All right.
And also in the legislature, there's a bill that was passed out of committee that would allow senior centers who are operating 501c3s that expand it to like public centers, community centers. Apparently there was a group of senior centers, a group of seniors that formed this 501c3, has it as a public meeting place in addition to seniors, and they have a tax bill. And I think it was like $20,000 was the tax bill on that building. So right now in the legislature, there's a bill that says if there's senior centers that are operating more like a community center, that there would not be taxes charged on them.
All right. All right.
And I recently, last week, I was up at the AAA and I had an opportunity to talk to several people, and I know that the county has contacted them, and from Mason County in particular, I know that there's going to be some dialogue there, and they will have some people down. So we're moving forward on it.
All right. All right. And kind of tying in with that, but just in a broader sense, is there any legislation that you guys are keeping an eye on in general? Or maybe like, top 3 or 5?
Yes.
Like that.
Indigent defense. And there is a bill in the legislature that would give us a bit of relief, but very little. It would give us $900,000 to be split with the state. So there's $450,000 to be split with counties and cities. So that doesn't go very far. So when we talk to the legislators, and I sit on the WASAC Legislative Steering Committee, the indigent defense is one of the biggest issues for us. Jail medical is another thing that eats into our budget. And many folks who come into our jail may have some kind of insurance, but it stops. They're on SSI or something like that, it stops. So the taxpayers, in another way, pay for that medical. And then the third is public disclosure requests. And that there's many counties who have received public disclosure requests, that hundreds of requests by one individual, and trying to get those through. And it's very tough on our staff when we have to respond to those, and we have other requests, 1 or maybe 2 requests from an individual, but we have these huge requests. And we can charge for some of the paper when we print it out. But what happens several times is that people like in PL, they said they printed out 2 reams of paper for somebody for a public disclosure request, and the person never picked it up, so they never paid for it. So there's some things we're working on in that arena too.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Any other questions? Susan?
Gary, do you want to mention, or Commissioner Stamper, do you want to mention the meeting on Friday?
Yes. We were, the mayor of Monserrat had requested a meeting for the commissioners to be present concerning the situation with the Tacoma Power and the Rife Reservoir. So we will be attending, and I know that we're going to have some other county officials there. And I did talk to Pat McCarty from Tacoma Power, and they will be there, from what I've been told. So I guess it's on record. So if they don't show up, they're in trouble, right? But anyway, they will be there. So, and again, it's regarding obviously the concerns that not only the earthquake situation, but also the economic impact that it's going to create on especially Monserrat and Morton and all the neighboring towns there. So, so we'll see what happens though. We haven't given we were asked by the city of Monserrat, and obviously we will be attending, but as far as questions or formats or anything like that, we have not been requested by anyone to submit that. So we will be there for support and to give our side and how we feel about it. And that is, I'm not sure, I know it's Friday night at 6 o'clock, I believe. So, and it's at the community, it'll be at the community center there in downtown Monserrat. Downtown. So, you can't miss it. In other words, wherever the most cars will be parked, that's where it'll be. Yes. Well, the Pioneer's across the way, so it might be a split deal. So anyway, but yeah, we look forward to, and we encourage people to show up too. So again, we have requested, or I have personally requested, that we receive a plan that Tacoma Power has submitted to FERC to see how they're going to resolve the reservoir issue, as well as the recreation aspect of it, because from what we understand, it's going to be a 10-year, could be a decade-old problem that's going to exist. So the reservoir will be down. And so what I'm looking for, I guess, and as everyone else is, to see what are they going to do, what's Tacoma Power going to do to take care of the boat ramps, the recreation areas, all the other swimming areas, that was mitigated through the previous term. So we'll see what happens on that. Anything else?
Yeah, we'd like to mention that tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, Board of County Commissioners will be interviewing 6 candidates for the Napavine City Council, out of which we will choose 3 of those to fill vacancies in position 3, 4, and 5. And so we are grateful to have the applicants that we have. We'll be looking over those applications and sitting down with those folks tomorrow to a series of questions, and after which we will be voting on the individuals we believe can best fill those positions. So we'll be handling that tomorrow night.
I'd like to add one other thing to what was asked about what we're doing in the legislature. I testified recently regarding the TransAlta bill and talked about our county. We've had floods, 8.2% unemployment. When people Google Lewis County, some of the first things that comes up, floods. And in talking with the Senate Ways and Means Committee, a panel of us talked about our community has suffered a great deal of loss when the coal mine went down and all those family wage jobs. And we really can't take much more of that. And this was before the Tacoma Power issue came up. And Senator Ranker came down and talked to us later and said, we understand the issues that Lewis County has. And from his perspective, he would like to see Lewis County as a place where we've done it right in terms of handling when a coal-fired plant is closed that the community is above it, and it's family wage jobs as a result of some mitigation, some kind of work we do here. So we can be like a spotlight of how we can get things done when we have things like that happen to us. So it was good to hear that folks want to help us, because the closure of TransAlta, first the mine, and a future 2025, that's going to be very devastating for us. And I was talking to a TransAlta employee yesterday in the grocery store and said, I know I probably have 7 years left, and he had a fire in his house, and it burned to the ground, and he had some insurance, but lots of it still falls on him. And he said, why would I rebuild a house and get another mortgage and know I'm going to lose my good-paying job in 7 years, and there's, maybe I should just let it be and just move on and get a rental. So I said, we're working hard to make sure that during this transition period that we can bring in other employers, hopefully at IPAT and at the ports, so we can have folks stay here and attract other people here so they can work here and support their families.
And I think you have to, and again, that's, countywide, we're all concerned about jobs. And District 3 in particular does rely a lot on tourism dollars. We've got some information on that. We're going to share with people exactly how much it does mean to, especially to the east end of Lewis County. But again, most of the people at the east end of Lewis County come out and spend their dollars, usually when they drive to town in Chehalis and Centralia. So it does, we're all a valuable partner on this, and so all the things connected here. We don't have the luxury of the surplus to go through this. So these could be. We want to be positive about it, but we're very concerned about it, and we're going to share our concerns with Tacoma Power how much of an impact those types of events will cause to this county. So, okay. If nothing else, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
You are invited to immerse yourself in the beauty of nature in all four corners of Lewis County, Washington. From our fields to your table, farms in the west share their bounty. Limitless landscapes, forests and mountains beg to be explored in the east. Fish our many rivers and lakes in the south, and discover where history and culture intersect in our twin cities. Explore it all by visiting our Facebook page and plan your next getaway at discoverlewiscounty.com. Culture, history, and adventure all come alive when you discover Lewis County.